Twitter currently suspends or bans accounts that violate its community standards. If sold, Musk claims he will spearhead Twitter's transformation. What exactly does that mean? Joining us this morning, award-winning radio host Tony Katz. Tony, thank you so much for being with us.
Great to be here. How are you?
I'm doing good. I think there are a lot of people who know a sliver, at least, of Elon Musk's politics and his passion behind wanting to protect free speech. Is this his way of saying, you know what, you're not really doing what social media should be doing, and you're only allowing certain voices to be the loudest in the room?
I don't know if it's politics. I don't know if it's his passion. But if we take a look at the idea of community standards, as you were just talking about on Twitter, we should note that the Ayatollah Khomeini is still on Twitter. We should note that people who support Louis Farrakhan are still on Twitter. They're in the problem. Is Elon Musk the guy to fix it? Well, he's certainly talking that way.
He can afford to be that way.
And yes, he can. And that also has a couple of different ways you can play that conversation, whether you like it or whether you don't. But it certainly should be telling us that Twitter hasn't been this arbiter allowing people to speak freely. And I think nothing really plays that out more than that New York Post story that they did not allow to be utilized on their platform regarding Hunter Biden and the laptop. That was a sourced story and a credible story, as the New York Times, the Washington Post now tell us, but they didn't allow it to happen then. And that is their own internal politics going against our ability to engage freely.
So would Elon Musk, knowing what he wants to do with the platform, I don't think it's any secret. Everything that you've said to me has been fodder for people who will debate that Twitter is not being neutral enough or unbiased enough. But would this potentially backfire? Can Twitter decline the offer based on what they think he's going to turn it into?
So two things. First, I think Twitter is absolutely biased, tremendously biased, as opposed to not being unbiased enough. They are purposefully biased. The real conversation that you're asking, I think, is the big one. It's a question of the money. It's a $43 billion offer. Twitter and the board has a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders. This is why they wanted to offer Elon Musk a spot on the board. He could only...
Some people think its valuation a few months ago, I think it was closer to 70-something billion, that he will have to actually offer a few more bucks on the table.
General Electric used to be worth more. I can point to you a million companies. The horse and buggy business used to be worth tons of cash, I tell you. So you got to deal with the market that you're in right now, and $43 billion in an inflationary market, not so bad. They have to bring it, as we're hearing people talk about, they have to bring it to a shareholder vote. They have to.
Do you think that it will go through?
Oh, no. And I don't think it's because of the Saudis who are raising a stink, and I don't pay any attention to the Saudis raising a stink. I think that there is going to be real pressure put upon Twitter not to sell. I think right now, and I think this reporting is accurate, they are looking for a white knight. They're looking for someone to come in and say 44 billion, and make that happen.
Who would that be?
There are some people out there.
There's like 5 people out there.
There are 5 very, very interesting people that already have gotten this phone call, guaranteed, or your money back.
Okay, I'm just trying to think if I've left anything on the table with you because you're so fun to talk with.
Well, this was kind. I like being, I got to tell you, the photo you guys used of me to intro me, I don't look like that anymore.
No.
This has been a good weight loss right here.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.